Good afternoon, dear students. Let us start today's class. This small prayer. Lord Jesus, we surrender all medical professionals into your heart. Bless them with your love and care and help us to provide healing hands and smiling face during the journey of sick and suffering. Amen. Ave Maria. Let us learn regarding genetics. What is genetics? Genetics is the study of heredity. Heredity. The characters are transferring from the parents to the children. Now, what is human genetics? Yes, human genetics deals with the inherited characters or the behavior from the parents. What are behaviors? It may be physical, mental, it may be normal or abnormal, it may be a familiar behavior, or it is a behavior of a race, or it may be a behavior of a certain population. So, whatever it may be, genetics is concerned with the characters that are transmitted from generation to generation. Why certain characters are transmitting from generation to generation? Why in all families all are fair in color? Why in certain families all are having lengthy hair or straight hair? But in other families, we can see that all family members are having curly hair. Certain family, we can see that they are short, but in other family, we can see that the whole family can be long. Again, we can see there are families with mixed height, both long and short people. What is the reason behind it? Yes, the search for the reason behind similarities and dissimilarities leads to a new science known as genetics. Hope you have basic knowledge in genetics, which you have learned in the schools and even in BSc nursing program. Now let us learn in detail regarding genetics. Okay, first, before moving into the detail, let us study what is the molecular base of a gene. To study regarding genetics, molecular basis, we must start from the cell. That is why I have given you the video of cell. Cell, nucleus, and DNA. Okay, let us see in detail. Look at a human body. What is a functional unit of a human being? Yes, it is cell. How many cells do we have in our body? Yes, the human body contains 100 trillion cells. That means 1 lakh crore cells. 1 lakh crore cells. So this 1 lakh crore cell is totally now involved in teaching process to make you to understand what is gene. Yes, that is the beauty of creation. Let us see the parts of human cells which you have already studied in the last class. I'm not going in detail because you have seen the videos. The cell can be divided mainly into 3 parts: plasma membrane, cytoplasm, and nucleus. So the whole cell can be divided into mainly 3 parts: plasma membrane. So what is the outer covering of a cell? It It forms a flexible outer covering which separate the cell from an external environment. So this plasma membrane separates inner cellular content from a external environment, and it, as you know, it has got pores and it regulates the flow of material into and out of the cells. The second part is the cytoplasm. It consists all cellular content between the plasma membrane and the nucleus. Nucleus is the center part. Plasma membrane is the outer covering. So cytoplasm is the area in between plasma membrane and the nucleus. So the cytoplasm has got two components, cytosol and organelles. The fluid portion of the cytoplasm can be called as cytosol, and small organelles are included in it. As you have learned, it is cytoskeleton, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, lysosome, peroxisomes, mitochondria, ribosomes. All these small organelles you have learned in the last class is immersed in the cytoplasm or in cytosol. So that is regarding the cytoplasm in nutshell. So cytoplasm is the space or cellular content between the plasma membrane and nucleus. It contains cytosols and the small organelles. Third part of a cell is the nucleus, which is the center of a cell. And even we are now going to concentrate on the nucleus to learn more about genetics. The nucleus is the center of all the organelles, and it is the largest organelle, and it controls every activities of a cell. It appears to be dense, spherical, and it consists of almost 10% of the cell volume, and it serves as a commanding center. Yes, I told it is a center of a commanding center, or it is a controller of a cell. It sending direction to the cell regarding growth, maturity, division, or to die. Clear? And it has got a special area that is known as DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA. It is a hereditary material. Yes, when we study genetics, we are going to study more regarding this particular DNA. The nucleus is surrounded by a membrane. It is called as nuclear envelope, which protects DNA and separate the nucleus from the rest of the cells. Let us study more detail regarding the nucleus. Nucleus is commonly found in every human cell, one nucleus. But there is no nucleus in RBC, and we can see multiple nucleus in skeletal muscle, liver cells, and even the osteoclast. This nucleus has a double membrane that is called as covering of the nucleus. It is called as nuclear envelope. And this nuclear envelope separates the nucleus from the cytoplasm. Okay, it gives a distinctive feature to the nucleus. And in the envelope, you can see, if you look into the picture, you can see that there is a flower-like structure. It is nothing else, it is an opening. It is called as nuclear pores. Okay, this nuclear pores extend through the nuclear envelope, and it controls the inflow and outflow of the substance, okay, from the cell to the nucleus. And even nucleus controls the cellular structure, and it directs all the cellular activities, and nucleus is the place where the ribosomes are produced. Now we look into the picture. You can see that there is a one more spherical body within the nucleus. Okay, that is called as nucleolus if it is single, or if it is plural, nucleoli, which produces ribosomes. The center part is the site of production of ribosomes. Each nucleus is a cluster of proteins. Okay, so the nucleus is a cluster of protein, DNA and RNA. So nucleolus contains proteins, DNA and RNA. Nucleoli is the site for synthesis of tRNA. Okay, sorry, rRNA and assembly of rRNA. Okay, and proteins into ribosomal subunits. Okay, so there are tRNA, transfer RNAs and ribosomal RNAs. Clear? So here we can see that within the nucleoli or nucleolus, there is a synthesis of ribosomal RNA that we will study in detail regarding the function of nucleus. So this is the structure of a nucleus. So within the nucleus, we can see nucleus is the central portion of the cell. It has got an outer covering, nuclear envelope, and nuclear envelope has got nucleopores, and within that there is a nucleolus, and outside that the blue color, that is the chromatin. We will study, we are coming into that. And the nucleolus is the site for production of ribosomes, and there we can see RNA, DNA, RNA and the ribosomal RNA can be seen in the nucleoli. Okay. Now we will see another unit within the nucleus that is known as hereditary unit, or commonly we will call it as gene. Gene controls the cellular structure and direct the cellular activities. Now where the gene is arranged is, you have learned regarding chromosomes previously, okay? Or you have seen in the last video. So chromosomes, the genes are within the chromosome. Clear? And how many chromosomes do we have? The human body have 46 chromosomes. 23 is inherited from each parent. Each chromosome is and 46 chromosome, 23 is from each parent. Okay, so along with that there is an autosome and the sex chromosome. 23 autosomes and 1 sex chromosome. If the sex chromosome is getting from both parents X, the child will be female, and if the father, the baby gets Y, then the child remain male. So we can see that chromosome is important. You can stop this video here and just go and see the another video which I have posted today. It describes the structure of chromosome in detail, and afterwards you hear my class, you will be able to understand in a better manner. And if there is any confusion, go and watch this video again. If still you have confusion, please ask me when you are coming on Saturday. So genes are arranged in chromosomes. What is chromosome? Chromosome is a long molecule of DNA, and the DNA is a coiled molecule, and we can see that within the DNA there is a DNA is there and proteins, and some of the RNA, and this is together form chromatin. Clear? And when these cells are not dividing, the chromosome is not looking like X, how we are writing commonly. It is just looking like a cluster of hair. Clear? So just look at the nucleus, picture of the nucleus. You can see there is a thread-like structure. Yes, when the cell is not dividing, the nucleus is a loose like this. Okay, so it is a cluster of a long thread. Okay, it is seen like only during the cell division it condenses together and form like a chromosome, like X, the shape commonly we are drawing. So when the cells are not dividing, chromatin is a diffuse granular mass. And if you look into this in detail, you can see that this chromosome is prepared, or it is a cluster, or it is a loop. Clear? And it is a loop of when we look into chromosome, each chromosome has two chromatids, and these chromatids are connected each other at the center by centromere. So chromosome has got two parts, it is chromatids, and these chromatids are connected each other by a centromere. And if you look into in detail regarding this chromosome, we can see that this chromosome is formed by a coiled loop. And if you take this loop separately, and if you study in detail, okay, and we can see that this loop, it has got even under the microscope, if we look into this loop has got two parts. Clear? And it is called as chromatin fiber. Clear? Okay, so chromatin fiber, if we look into, there is a chromatin. Okay, within the chromatin, we can see that there is a ball-like structure, and there is a ribbon-like which covering this ball, or which binding these balls. Clear? So this ball-like structure is histones. Okay, so 8 nuclear or 8 histones together forms a nucleosome. 8 histones together forms, and it binds together, and it look like a ball, and there is an overlapping by chromatin. Okay, so that is called as nucleosome. So if you look into the loop in detail, and this loop is formed by the chromatin fiber, okay, which is covering or which is enveloping over histones or proteins. When we remove this chromatin, these histones are not a single protein, it is a combination of 8 histones or proteins. Okay, now we have separated the proteins, and we are going in detail to study this particular chromatin alone. So we get the molecular structure which is familiar to us. A double helix DNA structure is present. Hope you understood the connection between the chromosomes, what we have learned in the schools or even BSc, and the structure of DNA, double helix structure. Okay, so this double helix structure that forms like a ribbon like, okay, and in that histones are added, and this ribbon like double helix will cover these histones, and this will be joining together. Okay, so the chromatin over the histones forms chromatin fiber. Condensing this chromatin fiber, okay, so usually it is loose like this when it is a non-dividing stage, and at the division, cell division, this loop will condense together and totally completely it forms like a chromosomes which has got two chromatids and a centromere at the center. Hope you understood it. And I have gone from chromosome to the DNA, and the video which you have seen is from DNA to the chromosome and to the cell. The direction is slightly different, but the content is same. Clear? Try to learn. If you're not able to follow it, look at the note and read it again, and go and watch the video. If there is any doubt, please ask me. Now we will see regarding the molecular structure of DNA. Hope you have understood the chromatin beads on a string structure. Okay, chromatin has a beads on a string structure. Okay, through the last slide. Now we'll see the molecular structure that already you are familiar with. Okay, so this DNA, there are different models. Okay, the ribbon model is actually commonly used, and another one is given a space filling model. There are many models. Okay, it is not a proven fact, but still DNA is a large molecule, and it is a long double stranded helical molecule. This molecule is composed of simple chemical compounds bound together in a regular pattern. So now we'll see what are the basic chemical compounds involved in the formation of DNA. Mainly we can see that there are three types of compounds. One is a phosphoric acid, the second one is deoxyribose, which is a sugar, and the third one is nitrogen base. So there are three compounds binding together forming DNA. That is phosphoric acid, deoxyribose, a sugar, and four nitrogen bases. This phosphoric acid and the deoxyribose, it together forms the helical strands of the or that is the backbone of DNA molecule. And the base, that is nitrogen base, lies between the two strands and it connects each other. So the nitrogen base are mainly two types, purines and pyrimidines. Okay, purines are adenine and guanine, and the pyrimidines are thymine and cytosine, as you have studied earlier. Okay, now these two purines and pyrimidines get attached to the side of the deoxyribose molecule. The purine base adenine is one strand always binds with pyrimidine. One purine is always binding with the pyrimidine. That means adenine is binding with the thymine only. In other ways, the purine base of guanine is always binding with the cytosine. There is no change. So it is too wonderful to see that the mixing of these two base is, and only this much is the molecule. Two purines, two pyrimidines, deoxyhydrose, and the phosphoric acid. It is utilized in different manner and varieties of DNAs are being formed. Human DNA consists of almost 3 billion bases. Clear? And 99% are same in all people. That means human beings have got 99% same kind of bases. Okay, so this is the molecular base of a DNA. the commonly used one, and the commonly the presently the most accepted one is a ribbon model, which says that each DNA has got a helical string, and which is connected, okay, which is prepared by the phosphoric acid and the deoxyribose, and that is connected by two purine and pyrimidine, that is adenine and guanine. Adenine is, okay, the two always purine is getting connected with the pyrimidine, that is also no mixing. Okay, so adenine is always connecting with the thiamine, and the guanine is always connecting with the cytosine. Okay, so this is the structure of DNA. And now we'll see the functions of a DNA. We have seen the structure of nucleus in detail. Let us study what is the function of a nucleus. As we have seen, nucleus controls the cell along with heredity characteristics of an organism. Heredity character of an organism is controlled by nucleus. DNA within the nucleus, or genome which is present within the nucleus. Second, it is responsible for protein synthesis, cell division, growth, and differentiation. Okay, after this, we are moving into the protein synthesis. That is the one major function of a nucleus. Nucleus is responsible for protein synthesis, and it controls the cell division. Through the cell division, growth, and even the differentiation. One cell as a zygote is now differentiated into various types of brain cells, skeletal cells, muscle cells. Okay, we can see that. So differentiation. Third one is it stores hereditary material. Okay, it stores hereditary material in the form of deoxyribonucleic acid and also in terms of ribonucleic acid. Okay, so if we look into the genome, if we study the genetic of a person, okay, 3000 years back or 5000 years back, if there is a common heritage that can be identified, so it stores the hereditary material as a DNA or as RNA. Fourth one is it is a site of transcription process in which messenger RNA are produced for protein synthesis. It is a step in protein synthesis. It is one step, that is a transcription and translation are the two steps of protein synthesis. And in that, transcription is happening in nucleus, translation is happening in cytoplasm. So it is a site of transcription. So that is the fifth one. We can see that the functions of the first few functions of a nucleus are: it controls the hereditary characters of an organism, it is responsible for protein synthesis, cell division, growth, and differentiation, it stores hereditary material as DNA or RNA, it is a type of site of transcription, and it aids in exchange of DNA and RNA between the nucleus and the rest of the cell. Okay, based upon the DNA, RNA is forming from the nucleus, and it is being given to the other part of the body, even to the other part of the cell. Okay, that is also happening in nucleus. Aids in exchange of DNA and RNA, hereditary material, between the nucleus and the rest of the cell. Okay, that you will understand in detail when we study the protein synthesis. The next function is it produces ribosomes. It produces ribosomes, and it is acting as a site for production of ribosome. Okay, next is that it regulates the integrity of genes and the gene expression. Okay, where is the gene? Gene is not found in any of the DNA. Yes, gene is present. Gene is present within the DNA. We cannot say where the gene is exactly. Gene is somewhere within the DNA itself. Okay, so many genes are present in the DNA. Maybe it may be a small, maybe 2 or 3 helical spills, or even it may be a more than that. Okay, changes from one gene to the another gene. but it is present in the DNA. And proteins, then it is the double-stranded helical materials. Okay, that is the helically it is arranged, so it is too good for a, there is a great role, that is the protein synthesis and cellular replication. Okay, so these are the functions of, it produces ribosomes, it regulates integrity of gene and gene expression, and it aids, its structure aids in the uh, protein synthesis and the cellular replication. Okay, I'm completing it here, and you see the video which I am sending along with that. Okay, this only with the video you will be able to understand. That is why I am sending more videos. It is helpful in the beginning part. Thank you.